Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. I am Harrison Graham. Today's show presented by our partners, Fanatics. Get your Bears Stronger Together gear at chatsports.com/Chicago Strong. All proceeds benefit the COVID-19 Relief Fund. All right, let's jump on into today's Bears rumors and news. Matt Nagy, is he not on the hot seat? We've been talking about the past couple of months how every national outlet out there keeps putting him on the hot seat. Well, Sports Illustrated, Gene Chamberlain specifically, is going the other direction, saying that basically his job security is a lot safer than people would suggest. Here's a deeper dive into that from Mr. Chamberlain, saying there are no existing factors placing Nagy onto a hot seat, only factors which could occur in the future and eventually could put him there. The greatest and possibly only factor which could lead to Nagy being on the hot seat is if the Bears fail to put together an offense incapable of not hurting his defense. And he makes some good points, right? Because a year ago, would we say Matt Nagy's anywhere close to the hot seat? No, we'd say he's one of the elite head coaches in the NFL. Obviously, last year was a major step back for Nagy and this Bears football team, especially on offense. Now, I don't know if the numbers are going to get back to what they were in 2018. I don't know if Chicago's going to average 26, 27 points per game. But through 2 years as Chicago's head coach, he's 20-12 and has won the NFC North once. I did think some of these outlets over the past couple of months were reaching a bit, saying Matt Nagy's just, his seat is blazing hot entering this year. How many coaches go 20-12 in their first 2 years? Not that many. Yes, it's got to be better than last year. And like Gene Chamberlain said, if the offense is bad or even worse, yeah, he'll be on the hot seat at that point. But at this point, we're just projecting ahead by putting him on the hot seat. I think his job is safe. Barring a collapse in 2020, I think Matt Nagy will be here in 2021 and beyond. Now, you want to talk hot seat, Ryan Pace's seat might be a little hotter than Matt Nagy's, but let me know what you guys think. Type M for Matt Nagy, type R for Ryan Pace. I'll make this the pinned comment on today's video, so if you get hit with the ad break, go ahead and scroll on down and weigh in. All right, next story here. ESPN released their fantasy football rankings. If you guys play fantasy football, go ahead and hit me up on Twitter at HGrahamNFL. But I was intrigued by this. They had Tarik Cohen one spot ahead of David Montgomery. Cohen is the 25th best fantasy football running back. Montgomery at number 26. I guess in PPR formats, points per reception, and for those of you who do not know, maybe that could make some sense. But I think Montgomery's going to be more involved in the passing game this year. We saw last year that Montgomery became the focal point of the running backs on this Bears offense. Just look at the numbers. Way more opportunities. The carries 4 times as many. Sure, he had significantly less receptions, but I think that'll go up. Yes, Cohen will get more receptions and get more touches in the passing game, but I don't think it'll outweigh what Montgomery gets in the rushing game, and he'll get much more opportunities to score touchdowns, especially when the Bears get up close on the goal line. Before we continue this story, I want to remind you guys, got a mailbag coming soon, so use hashtag Bears to get your questions on the show. All you do, hashtag Bears, ask me your questions. I pick as many as I can, and we do a video later in the week. That's how we do things. So ask away, and I will answer as many as I can on our upcoming video. So yeah, I find this interesting that ESPN would have Cohen ahead of Montgomery for fantasy football. And yeah, PPR is more popular in today's fantasy football world. Obviously, running backs who can catch the football have more value, but David Montgomery can catch the football. He did it a lot at Iowa State. I think he'll do more of that this year. Sure, Cohen has fantasy value, and I wouldn't say there's a huge gap, but I think if you're playing fantasy football, David Montgomery is the Bears running back you take higher up in the draft. He'll have more rushing opportunities. He'll have more touchdown chances. I think both of them have fantasy value, but I don't think having Cohen higher really makes a whole lot of sense in my opinion. Hopefully both these guys have great years, but if you're asking me, I'm going with David Montgomery. Now, fantasy football aside, which of these players will have the bigger impact in 2020? Type D for David Montgomery, type T for Tarik Cohen. I think Montgomery's the breakout player of the year for Chicago, so I'm typing my D, but type T if you think it's Tarik Cohen. All right, I want to remind you of our Bears deal of the day. It's the Stronger Together gear that our partner Fanatics is promoting right now. Go to this link, chatsports.com/Chicago Strong. All the proceeds benefit the COVID-19 Relief Fund. You can get t-shirts. We got hoodies as well. hey, if you use the promo code that's available right now, promo code COAST, it'll get you the best price available. Go to chatsports.com/Chicago Strong. Get yourself a hoodie, get yourself a t-shirt, and represent the Bears this season. Next story here, Mitchell Trubisky is in a make-or-break season. Yes, Bleacher Report it is. Thanks for stating the obvious. Obviously, Mitch Trubisky is at a crossroads. We know that, right? Coming off a bad year, the Bears trade for Nick Foles. Competition is set to take place. It's all on the line for Trubisky in Chicago this season. Like, the next couple of months are maybe the most critical time of his career as he tries to win this job and prove to the Bears he can be their franchise quarterback. Now, Matt Nagy said recently on Good Morning Football that Trubisky's handled this well, saying Trubisky has been really good in the fact that he's taken this head on, he's accepted it, he understands it. We're all so competitive, but we're human too. There's a realness to the fact that, okay, you're going to bring somebody else in here and have me compete. Initially, it's probably a shock, but then after that, it's like, all right, let's go. And that's the attitude you have to have if you're Trubisky, right? I think personally he got a little bit comfortable after 2018. Probably didn't put in all the work he needed to last offseason, and then he regressed. Didn't play as well in 2019. If he can get closer to 2018 and build off of that, maybe win the job and the Bears utilize his mobility a little bit more this year, there's still a chance Trubisky can be this team's franchise quarterback long term. Now, it's going to take drastic improvement, and I've outlined that very frequently on the show. I've made it clear I think Foles will start, but Trubisky's going to have a chance to compete, and yes, this is a make-or-break season. So what do you guys think? Do you believe in Mitchell Trubisky? I think the Bears fan base is very split, not only on who will start, but whether or not Trubisky can be the guy long term. If you believe in him, type Y for yes. If you don't, type N for no. I'm on the fence. I got to see what happens this year. Got to see if he wins the job. We'll see what happens in 2020. All right, guys, some of you probably know, but may not know, that we have several team channels here at Chat Sports on YouTube. Chicago Bears Now is one of our newer ones. Launched in January, we're approaching 10,000 subs. We want to join the exclusive 10,000 subscribers club. Cowboys and Raiders, they've been around for the longest. Tom and Mitch have put in great work. That's why they're at 62 and 47K. 49ers approaching 25. Eagles just crossed 10K. Bears Now, are we next? We just crossed 9,000 in the past week or so, trying to get closer and closer. Help us get there. Hit that big red subscribe button. More subscribers means I get to put out more videos for you guys. We're almost doing daily videos. If we continue to grow, I'll get to do a video every single day. All right, guys, I don't know about you. I've been waiting for Doc Rivers' opinion on the quarterback competition. He's the opinion I'm looking for. Look, I mean, you're talking about one of the best coaches in the NBA. Why wouldn't his input on Nick Foles versus Mitchell Trubisky be the opinion we're looking for? All jokes aside, lifelong Bears fan, grew up in Chicago, joined Adam Schefter on his podcast to weigh in on Foles versus Trubisky, saying, quote, "We have a Super Bowl winning quarterback now, and we also have a very good young quarterback. And so you would think that the Super Bowl winning QB will probably get the nod." So long story short, Doc Rivers thinks Nick Foles is going to be the guy. Never thought I'd have something in common with Doc Rivers, but here we are. I think Foles will be the starter as well. But again, like we just talked about with Mitchell Trubisky, it is going to be a competition. Ryan Pace traded up to take him number 2 overall a few years ago. The Bears are going to give Trubisky every final option to win this job and prove he can be the guy. I'm fascinated to see what happens in training camp. The competition won't begin until training camp. Nagy's made that very clear. Foles and Trubisky aren't competing during virtual offseason program. That doesn't make any sense. But Doc Rivers weighing in. He thinks it's going to be Nick Foles. All right, this is interesting as well. ESPN had their 32 NFL team writers. They have a writer for all 32 NFL teams do a 4-round fantasy draft, basically, to try and build a roster for a Super Bowl. And they did it in the first round based on this year's draft order, but it was snake style. So the Chiefs had the 32 pick, for example, then picked again at 33. Khalil Mack was the first Bear taken in this exercise. He went to the Saints with the number 24 overall pick. Of note as well, 21 of the 32 picks in the first round were quarterbacks, so quite a large number there. And by the way, the Bears didn't have a single quarterback taken in this 128-player draft. Foles and Trubisky were not drafted by any of the NFL writers from ESPN. So take with that what you will. Here were the top 5 picks. Like I said, quarterback heavy. Patrick Mahomes going to the Bengals. Russell Wilson got taken by the Redskins writer. Lamar Jackson to Detroit. Deshaun Watson to the Giants. And then Aaron Donald, the first non-quarterback taken. He went number 5 overall to the Miami Dolphins. Now, here were the first 5 non-quarterback picks. I thought Khalil Mack would be in here. He was actually the 6th guy as he went number 24 overall. Donald, again, Ronnie Stanley went to the Chargers for some reason. Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa, top 10 picks. And then the Rams selected Christian McCaffrey at number 20 before Khalil Mack at number 24. So I'm not going to ask who the best player in the NFL is because you're probably going to say a quarterback. Who's the best non-quarterback in the NFL? Is it Aaron Donald? Is it Khalil Mack? Those are 2 of the top options there. I think we'll get a lot of Khalil Macks in the comments. Go ahead, let me know who the best non-quarterback player is in the National Football League. Now, I mentioned that Foles and Trubisky were not taken, so I scrolled through the list. I was like, what quarterbacks were taken? Maybe later on. Cam Newton went early in the 2nd round to the Titans. We don't even know if he's playing football this year, so that's fascinating in itself as he continues to rehab from injury. Jarrett Stidham literally hasn't played at all, and he got taken over Nick Foles, who's won a Super Bowl. Sure, that makes sense. Jameis Winston, who the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were so ready to get rid of him, they didn't even consider bringing him back this year. He went to the 49ers. And then Tyrod Taylor, who's bounced around about 10 teams now in his career, he went to the Chiefs. Imagine going from Patrick Mahomes to Tyrod Taylor. That's quite a downfall if you're Kansas City. But Khalil Mack, he went in the 1st round, number 24 overall. I think we can agree he is the most valuable player on the Chicago Bears. Of note as well, Allen Robinson, the only other Bear taken, he went in round 4.